Hey. What's up, everybody? Getting this thing ready to go. I got my fancy painted wall. Look how clean this is. You get like no graininess on the see-through. Kajako, what's good? Good to see you, man. You know, low-key, I don't know if you guys find it cool or chilling or not, or like chill, but like, I think I got the best vibes, man. Like the best music in the background. I think it's just like, you know. I loved it back in the day when I was able to do the instrumentals. Of like songs that everybody knows, you know? And then I kept getting copyright violations, so couldn't do that anymore. Yeah, so we nailed the top again. You know, it gets tiresome. You got so many songs. Good, dude. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, we nailed the top again. A week ago today in the Telegram room, I posted an alert and notified all of you. Hey, man, we really need Bitcoin to catch up, or else this move is going to reverse or peter out or something. I don't really remember, to be honest with you. But it was a pretty funny day to do it, because this was the day. Okay, it was literally the day where price got the highest, where price was the highest on the most recent move. And I was like, I don't know, man. You might want to pump the brakes here a little bit. And where did I get it from? I got it from my custom MACD indicator, which I've already recorded the raw video explaining how to use it, which will be posted in the Discord. So join the Discord if you want to see it. It's going to be a private link only. If you are not part of the Discord, you will not see the video. Van City, what's good, man? Welcome back. Good morning. So we nailed the move again, and we did it with the MACD indicator. And hopefully, if you saw it, you hedged or saved yourself some money. But I have a nasty habit of doing this, don't I? So hopefully you guys notice when I come out and declaratively say I don't know versus other times. But Sovereign SS, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Yeah, happy morning. I know the thing is, streaming earlier is better for me, and I think for most people they'd prefer I stream at like 1 p.m. Central or Eastern, doesn't matter. But I've noticed that like last time I never had more than like 25 people watching on Twitch live, and then I look and I had a couple hundred views in the last video. So it's like, all right, well, people just watch it whenever they watch it because it's not really that timely urgent, and I appreciate that. So Yeah, we nailed the top again. How do we nail the top? I'm going to show you. MACD indicator. Hey, there we go. Homo Crypto Erectus subscriber. 13 months, man. A 13-month streak. Had a baby. Let's get the fucking money. Is that what LG? Let's get the effing money. I'm hoping that's what that means. Anyway, good to see you, my brother. Yeah, all right. Hey, I like it. I like it. Let's get the money. Let's protect the money we make too. You know, and that's almost the bigger point. So we nailed the move. How did we nail the move? Well, this is how. $10 days ago, 36K most likely top Lamau loser with dementia. What? I don't know what you're talking about, bro. That works for me though. 10 days ago. Yeah, well, things change, my man. Things change. The funny part about that is that was on this move, okay? That was on this move. And then 4 days later, if you're a part of the community, I posted to everybody, hey man, this doesn't look very good. And clearly you're not. But that's okay, man. You don't have to be mad. You don't have to be mad. There is no need to be upset. Because I'm going to tell you how we did it. And by the way, you might be new because I don't know who you are. But we got the bottom in July of 21. We got the top in November of 21. And, you know, a few other ones. But yeah, dude, get your hate on. Get your hate on, man. So, literally 7 days ago, on the 14th, if you're in the Telegram, I said, I don't really think it's going to happen unless Bitcoin catches up. And here's why it was a little bit hard to see. Look. Ethereum had a pure breakout from a momentum perspective, which is all crypto is. If you guys haven't figured that out yet, I feel bad for you. Because all crypto is our momentum move. The reason why the indicator that I give out for free, provided you're not a dick, is solely to manage momentum. It's a momentum indicator. Everything in crypto is momentum driven. All right. Ethereum actually had a momentum breakout. Look at this. A pure momentum breakout on Ethereum. Bam. Did not look like Bitcoin. Bitcoin used its momentum to get off the mat at 20K and get to 28, which is phenomenal, right? Like, you love to see it. But in the video that I just recorded that I'll be posting in the Discord, you can see when momentum is used to create a move. And it was used here, man. We went from negative to high, positive, move sideways, and it was dropped. Like, it was dropped badly. Okay? When we got this move forward, there was no momentum. There was no momentum. Essentially, you need to see momentum push higher than the preceding move, or that's what's called a bear divergence. So that's what I saw. We got this move up, but like, you didn't see momentum follow the same path. You didn't see momentum follow the same path. So it gives you a good idea. What you want to see on that pure breakout is like on a secondary move. Like, that's kind of it there, where like it just continues to kind of, I'm sorry, you can't see it, continues to move higher on the next push up. I mean, it still can reverse, but that is what you typically would like to see. We didn't see it happen. And that's typically a reversal signal. Okay? That's the reversal signal. Now, the target on the reversal is usually the 50-day moving average, which is why I always have it on my charts. Okay? So that's where the 26 came from. But how this move typically works is like this. Come down to the 50. If you do not see a reaction at the 50, you're typically going to break down lower to the next area of support and test it from the bottom side on its way down, okay? Okay. So that is the next move for me regardless. One of two things is going to happen. We're going to come down to this 50 here, right about 26.5, 27, and hope to see a reaction. Right? If we don't, then you look for the next area of support, which is this 24.3 area. If it responds there, great. It's worth a cheeky long. And then the next place will be, are we going to reject as the 50 segment, in this case, the 50-day moving average rolls over? And I would guess probably. Okay. So the move will look something like this. It's happened time and time again. So that's what I'm looking for now. This has played out almost identically several times. Let me show you the last time this played out. The last time it was this clear was right here. Tried to come in, tried to test from the underside and couldn't. So that's where you break down through the 50, can't test, and then you've now flipped trend back the other way. Okay. There are plenty of times that this has happened where the 50 does hold, or you get a snapback like from a few days ago, or from the start of March, I should say. But it's just like a pretty clear move. SS says worth a long, then short, or just wait until the setup short. I'm not interested in trading this now. Like, I moved to cash here. I'm more interested now in seeing the reaction. If I see a reaction at the 50-day where it actually holds, like where this 26.5 and this like local area, because think about it, there's a box here, right? That is an area of support right now, and the 50 is aligning with it. So if you saw a move down into this area and like it creates a double bottom and then comes back up, hell yeah, I would long that all day, because you have an easy invalidation mark. So whatever the bottom would be in that moment, I would take the high of this little channel as my target, which is great. It's a 7-hour trade. That's insane. So that would absolutely be worth it. But what I would not do is short the breakdown. I don't like shorting the breakdown. And the reason why I don't like shorting the breakdown is you never know what's going to happen. Like, you can get whipsawed all the way through here. The easiest play to short is either here or then when you test from the underside. So it's easier said than done, because you're like, well, I know this is going there. Like, what? How do you know? And I'm typically, I think I've told you guys before, like, you want to be the second mouse, not the first mouse. And like, pretty easy concept. Like, if you guys have ever seen a mouse trap before, the first mouse gets killed by the trap. The second mouse walks up, sees his buddy who got smoked, takes the cheese and walks away. Okay. You want to be the second mouse. So this was like the easier first play. Everything in here is kind of murky. And then if you see a reaction here, you can long it because there's enough reasons to, right? Like, this is a resistance now flip to support on this area. So you could long with a tight stop. If it rejects off the 50, you close that long and hedge or short down. Okay. So you just want to put yourself in the highest probability situations to succeed. So I don't know who homeboy was who just came in here all angry, but clearly they're new to trading, because the point is what the name of this show is called, which is plus expected value. The concept of plus expected value is really like a poker concept, right? You want to put yourself in the best position for your thesis to be correct, right? So that's like if you tried something 100 times, would you win more often than you lose? And that's all you're looking for in trading. Nobody bats 1,000. Nobody is never wrong. You just want to be wrong less than you're right. I mean, hopefully that makes sense. You want to be right more often than you're wrong. And so you have to put in ironclad risk management. The reason why I like this particular indicator is that the long and short signals are very clear. So again, If you were in the Telegram, you got the call. The call was, I think we need to move or this thing is going to retrace. It didn't actually activate until here, which means you would short there, okay? The target would be first move, the 50-day, second move, the next area of support, okay? So really it's right there. Well, where's the stop? The stop's new highs, okay? That's a 9-hour trade if it plays through to fruition. Do you know how often you need to be right to make money if you have good risk management on 9-hour trades? You can get 1 out of 10 trades right and still be profitable, or at least not lose money, right? Like you'd be break even. 1 out of 10 and you'd be profitable, okay? 1 out of 10, which is insane. Most people strive for 5-hour trades, which means you only need to be right 3 out of 10 times. This is the whole concept of plus expected value, is get yourself in a position where you're right more often than you're wrong, have ironclad risk management, and all you have to do is wait for the easy setups to come to you. And are you going to be wrong sometimes? Sure. I said very clearly last time I streamed, which was, 10 days ago, as Homeboy said, who was very angry, that the top would most likely be 36K. And I stand by that, because in that moment, with the information I had, that's what it looked like. I didn't think momentum was going to die where it did, although it did die very near where my area of resistance that I talked about was. So I don't know what that dude's so angry about. And then came down. But here's the thing. I'm not saying this move's over. If it holds off the 50 and takes out the highs, we're moving higher. If we go down to the bottom of the channel, break through the 50, we can move to the top of the channel again. Now we're closer to 35, 36 into the summer, which a lot of people are speculating it's going to be Bitcoin summer. The point is, find high probability setups with tight stops, and that's called risk management, y'all. SS just said it, man. The second mouse thing's so true. Patience is key, as the market knows. We're all waiting to get in. Hell yeah, dude. Like, your brain is going to tell you, I want to get in. Where do I high leverage long this? Because I want to get rich today. Well, those of you who are trying to get rich today will be poor tomorrow. All right. You have to find the right place to get in. Is a phone operator voice good? But thank you, Van. I appreciate that. So like, just, try to keep your emotions in check. I have ideas. I execute those ideas with risk management. If I get 3 out of 10 right, because I usually don't take anything less than 5-hour trades, I'm profitable. I usually have a higher hit rate than that, which makes me even more profitable. And when you catch macro swing changes, you can clean up. And that's all we're trying to do. So, check your emotions at the door, my guy. I don't need that shit in my life. I don't need that. I do this for fun. I like talking to people. Anyway, Ethereum actually looked a lot better. Ethereum was the reason why I was like, yeah, I'm not sure, because you didn't see the same divergence. Like, Ethereum has not had its move yet, even though ETH BTC has come off the mat like quite significantly. In fact, I think it was USS who was talking about this. Like, we got this double bottom down here. And it was like, hey, that's a double bottom on ETH. And you're like, damn right it was. So this was a double bottom. Like, there's pretty strong support here. And we broke through the recent high. So it's like, yo, man, this looks really good. It looks really good. Yeah, Ethan, like, yeah, I'm going to get there. And so you really haven't seen like the crazy move. The crazy move is typically going to come when we get back up into like major R. Okay. Major R being this red area. So like that's when you see Ethereum really take off, and we haven't seen it yet. So like when I was looking at the chart, I was like, damn, Bitcoin looks like an absolute bag of dicks. Like, this is a buy the book short setup every single time. I'm not the only person that looks at this. A lot of people look at this. When you look at Ethereum, you go, it's been coiling. It is near R, right? So like we had this line up here, this 2164 from God knows when, certainly at least 10 days ago, as like a potential spot for there to be resistance. But look, it's all air after that, dude. So like that's where I think I said 2600 would be the area if it didn't stop, and it did stop. And so this is where like looking at multiple pieces of information at the same time matters, because it was conflicting to me. But the Bitcoin signal, and Bitcoin is daddy. I don't give a fuck who you are, man. I can, until I'm blue in the face, I can tell you that I love what Ethereum is doing more than Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is still dad, man. Like, and what dad says goes. When Bitcoin looks like shit, doesn't matter how good Ethereum looks. It very rarely happens that way. What you want to see when Ethereum like really takes off is you want to see Bitcoin just moving sideways and Ethereum going up. Not like they're moving up together, but with dog shit momentum. That's actually not great for us, which is what we saw happen. So what I meant by multiple pieces of information, we know where the areas we're going to look for Bitcoin is going to be. It's going to be here, and it's going to be the bottom of this channel, which is going to line up with this other like resistance that we flipped. Okay, we had 1R, 2R broke through. Can we flip it to support? That'll be a pretty strong indicator that we're not going to break down lower, which is very easy to comprehend. Ethereum's a little bit more murky. So where's the logical landing place? Like I put it in here as a breakout indicator. I'll take that off now. But I don't... Yeah, I want to remove that, man. Fuck off. There we go. All right. I don't really love any spot right now. Like the spot that I guess would be the same would be right here. This like 1790 area. Like 1790 would be like the midline area. And then if you want to clone the channel, the channel clone would be... I'm using two different areas on this, so just bear with me for a second. That would be the midline area. So yeah, that would line up with 1700. So like maybe this is the same area as this. So like they're both at the same spot on the chart. They're both at the same horizontal area. And so you should look at both when you're deciding what you're going to go in on. If you're going to go in on Bitcoin or Ethereum or alts or whatever, like you don't want Ethereum to be free falling. You really don't. And as I always say, it's a matter of degree. Technical analysis, a lot of people think is fucking magic, and those people are clowns. Technical analysis is all about risk management. That's literally the only reason it's here. Otherwise, you're just gambling at the casino, guys. Like, it is all about risk management. So, where can you enter a position that gives you the most likely probability of a positive outcome or a plus expected value? It's the name of the fucking show, right? Plus expected value with Jared Phillips. So, no, we don't trade mid-range. We trade extremes, the bottoms and the tops, and then you wait. And why? Why do we do that? Because you could, like, you know how hard it is to set intraday stop targets? Look at this. Okay. A lot of people along here are thinking like, oh, sick, dude, I got the retest. But like, look at these wicks. How do you do it on a 30-minute chart on an instrument that trades with such volatility? You can't. You can't. So you have to go higher time frame where market movers can't just bone you like indiscriminately. Like, think about that for a second. The long signal, as I've taught the short signal, as I've taught over and over again, would have been on the daily open after this close. The open here would have been a short at 33.24. 33.24 with a stop at, what is that? 31. Okay. A $700 stop. Oh, it's a ton. No, we don't use leverage either. And it's still a damn near 9-hour trade. If you go all the way down, I'll go here a little bit further. Back to that 7 we were talking about. Like, it's the easiest move there is, and you don't have to worry about shit because you know pretty quickly if you're wrong. And if you're not trading leverage, who cares? So anyway, the point being, since I got on my meandering way, is it didn't look as clear with Ethereum, but now the points for Ethereum are pretty similar. So let's talk about it. Spot 1, it's a chance to rebound. Spot 2, it's the next chance. So those are our spots on Ethereum, and these are our spots. What was, is that Dan Viewer, my Dan? Is that my boy Dan? Different Dan. If it's my boy Dan, then you probably know this already, but regardless. The short trigger was this. One of the Dans. All right, I got you. Nah, bro, I don't need your shit. Okay. It was this divergence on the MACD. Okay. It was a move higher in price, but momentum's declining or not moving up as high is pretty standard bearish divergence. And the trigger on this is when you roll over from increasing momentum to decreasing momentum, which would have been right here. And that's when I posted in the chat, hey man, shit doesn't look good. And so that was the trigger. The trigger was here. And this is landing spot 1. That's landing spot 2. Now, a lot of times I've said the target is the 50 segment moving average, which is kind of true. Okay, it's kind of true. The target is really the next area of logical support. And for me, that's this. Bottom of the channel, it's flipped R, hopefully, to support. But what I do, always, if price gets anywhere near the 50 segment moving average, which is where we're at right now, I move my stop loss from new highs to my entry. So now I'm essentially freewheeling. I don't really give a shit what happens. It can either go down to my target, it can come back up and hit my price. I'm not taking a loss, and I can essentially ride this thing as long as I want. The other thing, too, is when it gets down here, if it starts to fail, even if it doesn't, I'm still going to take my profits, but I'm going to leave 20%. So that's like take 80, leave 20, and that way you don't feel like you're doing crazy shit. That's where like cross leverage is great, when you can have simultaneously open long and close positions. But now those of us who have been using Bybit, which I certainly only have when I've been in Canada, but for those of us that use Bybit when we travel in Canada can no longer do it because they're requiring KYC and they're going to shut your account down in 9 days. So if you don't know that, if you're an American that uses Bybit when you also vacation in Canada, pull your money off Bybit. You got 9 days. And then they're taking your money. They weren't like, hey, you can still log in and get it. Remember how Binance was like that? Like, you can just reach out to us. We'll send you your money. Bybit's like, yeah, you got till May 1st, and then that shit is ours. So I hope you guys saw that. Yeah, you're welcome, Dan. So the other things I'm going to cover real quick here, because I'm not going to be on here all day, but I've been on for a half hour already. We're ETH BTC. Let's go higher time frame. We're kind of mid-range now. I would really like to see us move above this like mid-range here. We've defended the 50 so far. We have this DTL to contend with. It really doesn't line up with any place that I like right now, but I would guess, since Bitcoin has been faltering, you're going to see a return down here to this 0.065, 0.066 area. If I had to guess. I'm not trading it. I don't really give a shit, but that's what I think will happen because I don't think this move down on Bitcoin has stopped yet. And usually if Bitcoin starts moving down, then Ethereum will give back some of its gains on the most recent move. If that makes sense for y'all. And then this is really the reason why things started to shit themselves, because we were talking about this. If you guys remember, we were talking about this last week when I streamed. We were hoping to see our higher high, but we don't have a higher high here. What do we have here? We have an equal high. What are two equal highs also known as, folks? Folks? It's weird when you pronounce the L. Folks? Yeah, it's a double top, right? So the ES is in a really precarious spot. Still a lot of positive things that we've seen. I'll go to the 3-day chart to make this a little easier to see. But 1, 2, 3, 4 breakout, flip from resistance to support. Very, very positive. Okay. Very, very positive. We love to see it. Things are looking good. However, we need this motherfucker to break out. Like in a magnificent way. Or else we're going to see probably the bottom. Yep, you got it. You got it, my guy. I know you had it. It's just like, I did not expect that to be such an issue. But look, this thing is like just absolutely hammering price right here. And the thing is, it's not even building the way that you want, right? We talk about like productive price action. This is not productive price action. This is like a slow drift forward. I would guess there's not even doing that, dude. It's just hanging out. I mean, there's a slight divergence here. There was a slight 8-hour divergence. which the ES is what I prefer trading because it is traded pretty much 24 hours a day. They do close on Saturday. Well, end of the day Friday until end of the day Sunday. But, it's just been kind of messing around, and it's already at the 50 here. So I don't know. Like for me, when I'm looking at this, like you have this small area from 4110 to 4100, which could be a small area of support. But then after that, we're down to like mid fours before it makes sense. So you're going to see all these things move together. And when things get really good, the S&P 500, Bitcoin, and Ethereum are all moving together, right? Yeah, good point, Link. Yeah, the VIX is waking up. Let's see if I can load that. Hold on. That's fine. So yeah, you have price near the top of the Bollinger Band. You have the VIX down near the lows of the Bollinger Band. Price is compressing. Like there's a lot of shit that could happen here. Okay. There's a lot of shit that could happen here. It's not something that looks like unbelievably clear. And so whenever you have this powder keg coming together where like VIX is near the lows and price is near the highs, and you've seen the ATR. So ATR is the average trading range of a day, ATR. When the VIX gets low, you can see the ATR trading range also decreases. So look, you can see here you have the VIX super high. I'll try to line these up so they're better. Where you at, bitch? There. When the VIX is high, you see like the intraday price movements are pretty big. When the VIX gets low, it's like, you're not even worth trading. You're not going to be able to take advantage of any volatility, but volatility's coming, man. Volatility's coming. I don't know which way it's going to go, but it's certainly coming because you rarely see price and volatility just compress like this. Like look how dead this shit has been essentially since we hit the top band on the 4th of April. It's been an absolute fucking snooze fest. So we'll see what happens, but it doesn't look like something where it's primed, to just continue some massive breakout. But could it? Sure, dude. I'm 100% happy to be like, well, I sold my positions to cash here because I didn't short. And I'll buy them back if we get new highs. Like I have no problem buying back for more. Like I know some people are like, oh fuck, man, I sold here and now I sold at 30. Now I got to buy back at 31. Who cares, man? If it breaks out, that means it's going higher, and I'm going to ride that move. There's no there's always another trade. Always another trade. But back to what we were discussing, I don't like the equal highs here. So that's what you're looking for in the S&P 500. Are we going to see a breakout? Because if you see a breakout in the S&P, you're going to see a breakout in Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is great, which means it probably rebounded off the 50 and moved back higher. If you see a breakdown to test the 50-day here, which is probably the most likely move if we continue going down, is 40.50, and that's 100 points from where we are now, which is a shitload in the S&P 500, then you know where Bitcoin is going to be. It's going to be right here. And if the S&P slices through that like a hot knife through butter, then who the hell knows? It could be down here under 3,900. And if that's the case, then Bitcoin's probably sub 24K. And so you see where they all start to line up. There's a reason why so I have 6 monitors, right? These ones here have, one of them I have the 30-minute chart for Bitcoin, Ethereum, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ futures. I don't talk about NASDAQ as much because it doesn't matter as much. And so you'll see how they move together and how they don't. But if you don't do that, if you don't have a chart layout that looks like that, let's see if I can pull it up. If you don't have a chart that looks like this, a chart setup, you should, because you start to get a feel for how they move with correlation. That's why my wife's like, do you really need 6 monitors? I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. Because you know what? Occasionally I just sit back and I watch during periods of volatility and go exactly what's happening here. And you can see how they're familiar. Okay? All right, let's go back to the main drawings layout. Take some questions. We'll call it a day. Yeah, I mean, you're starting to see like pretty pronounced weakness too amongst a lot of the shit that was nice. It was good to see that, we talked about on the 10th. Hey, you should look in the link. And it went up to almost $9. And now we're right back where we started, but that's the problem with this. And no worries, Van City. Good talking to you, bro. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, of course. I still believe in Link long term for the reasons that we talked about last week. Solana, I've been screaming from the rooftops to sell $25 ever since this looked like a long down at 8. 25 was going to be the top. Link is the harbinger of doom. It is known, but you know what? What I talked about last week was I did a podcast where I talked with like what Link has coming next, dude, and like it's the first time I've been excited about Link since like here, like literally a DeFi summer. So whenever you see a long period of consolidation like this, I mean, we've been consolidating since literally 11 months ago, and it hasn't really broken highs and it hasn't broken lows. Link is going to be an absolute fucking monster at some point because of what they're doing and how they're going to incorporate Web 2 into Web 3. So it's worth acquiring a position. I would just try to do it closer to 6. Absolutely. Dan, 100% right, bro. 100% right. It's literally like going to be insane whenever it happens. But I don't see a breakdown coming either because like do you realize what's happened in price since May of last year? Let's go back to May of last year for Bitcoin. Okay. Here's May of last year. May of last year, it was at 30. We went from 30 to 17 to 15 back to 30 and Link hasn't left its range. Okay. That's a shitload of volatility where Link's like, nah, I'll just hang out here. Like that is different. It's the only alt that acted that way during the entire past 11 months. So, take heed, my friends. Take heed. Doge looks like shit. Atom looks like shit. Juno looks like shit. AVAX got smashed. Just smashed. Smashed. Back down here, which is too bad because that had a wonderful move. Matic also got crushed. I mean, there's not a lot to be. Link Marine says F Link. Dude, if your name is Link Marine, it's like, what percentage of your portfolio is currently tied up in Link? I have to imagine you have a little bit of a personal vendetta at this point. $2. I'll take things that I never look at for 1,000. All right, so you're not wrong, okay? SS, you're not wrong. Okay, yeah, you are wrong. Let me tell you why. Because whenever you get these high volatility moves by just like kind of a drip down, this signal isn't valid. This is what I'm covering in the video, in the video, by the way, that I recovered. If it looked more like this when I'm about to draw, if price comes down to here and then pops up and then comes back down, then I would say you're right. It's more of a divergence. This essentially tried to do that a little bit, but it's really just bleeding down. Okay. It's really just kind of bleeding down. And like, that's what happens when it just becomes a slow bleed down. Like the 12 segment's going to catch up with the 26 segment in a MACD, and it's going to look like momentum is increasing relative to the bottom. But here's a little bit of alpha. Okay. It'll end up looking like this on a higher time frame. Here's the alpha that I don't ordinarily share. It'll end up looking like this on a higher time frame. It'll kind of bleed back up to the top and just immediately reject and then continue moving lower. So like it can't get above the 0 line. That is a trend confirmation down. It's a trend confirmation down. So what you actually want to see happen there is for it to pop above the 0 and then set its area and move higher. So, that's why I don't always give away all the pieces here. Because, I gotta keep you guys coming back somehow. But yeah, so you just know when you're looking at these, you want to see like a pronounced move in price, which is like, this is a pronounced move in price. It got to here and then it did kind of move higher and then reject down. If it just kind of bled the whole way up, I wouldn't have considered it as strong of a signal. So, do with that what you will. I'm not saying it won't work, dude. I'm not saying it won't work. It could work. What I would look for is if it gets anywhere near the zero line and turns back down, if you see anything like this, you get the hell out when it rejects the zero line. It's not a valid signal, but it doesn't mean you can't scalp it. Okay? So just be careful. I don't want you to lose money because of a piece of the concept that I have not fully explained yet. But anyway, is there anything you guys want me to take a look at? Because if not, I'm going to ride out. I mean, this all looks pretty bad. ARB actually is doing a decent job, like holding up. It's like one of the few relative strength areas that I think is compelling. You bitch. There, right there. So like above 139, like if it can try to hold that area while we're moving down to the 50 or whatever it is, I will be impressed. And I would think that a new high is coming in ARB. Short of that, curtains. I'll see at the bottom. Pretty much. You prick. What did I do? There we go. So you can see it's relative strength versus Ethereum. And I don't mind that. A little bit more sloppy, but, I just would want to see it continue to hold its strength versus Ethereum, and then ARB's probably a decent play. All right, y'all. Yeah, I think it's worth waiting. Spot 1 on Bitcoin, spot 2 on Bitcoin. Spot 1 on Ethereum, spot 2 on Ethereum. Spot 1 on the S&P 500, spot 2 on the S&P 500. Those are the areas we're looking at. You want to see them jump in and defend those areas. It's all a matter of relative strength, okay? So we want to see the first spot hold. It's the most positive indicator that we would have that things will return to the highs. Okay. If that doesn't hold, we definitely want to see spot 2 hold. That would be maybe the next best thing. But the problem is, and this is like my last summary of points, is obviously this holding would be the best. If it doesn't and we get down here and holds, that's fine. It's worth like a cursory long. But then the next thing that you're going to be looking for is what happens when it tests the 50 from the underside. And if I had to guess, I would guess it's going to reject. Okay. So you get something here. You can do a cheeky long back to highs, breaks down, cheeky long at 24. See what it does to the 50. Rejects the 50. Sell the cash, dude. Sell. Get out. Short if you're into that sort of thing. And I'll see you back at 20K. See you back at 20K. Buy in May and go away. That's what I'm saying. No, because like selling May and go away is a real thing, Link. It doesn't mean it's May 1st. Like I just wanted this on the calendar so you guys realize when we're in May. So like this could happen over a longer period of time. I mean, you think about it. Let me draw something that's more accurate. Okay, so like that move was essentially a month long. So you're gonna see this, if we got a true breakdown, like this would probably continue higher and then cap. So like you could see, that, and it would still be in May. It would still be a rejection, and it would, the 50 segment would still cap price. It would just be a little bit different. So I think just when we get into May, I'll stream more often. We'll talk more frequently because history tells us that the big swinging dicks go to the Hamptons, they go to Cape Cod, they go to the shore, and they fuck off for a month, and they're not going to move markets. It's where VIX drops lower. It's where the S&P just kind of rolls over, doesn't do shit. And, you just kind of get lazy because guys are out enjoying their summers. This is what happened last year. Sell in May, bang. right after May. Here's the ES. Kind of hangs around. Kids go back to school in August. Hey, we're back up. And then, they decide to shit on it the rest of the year. So, one or the other. Since I have you guys here, like I said earlier, but if you just join, I'm finally recording a video with notes on how to use my MACD indicator. I'm only going to post it in the Discord. It's only going to be available in the Discord. It's going to be a private link. So it will not be searchable on YouTube, though it will be hosted on YouTube. You'll just have to have the direct link, which you'll only get from the Discord server. We're going to try to pump that up a little bit. It's where I'm going to be posting all of the other TA videos I plan on making with my new handy dandy painted background. So please join the Discord, like this channel on Twitch, like this channel on YouTube. I think it's actually subscribe on YouTube. It's like on Twitch. Although if you do subscribe on Twitch, there are other benefits to that as well. Like the subscriber only chat, which has a bunch of slayers in there that are posting setups every day, which is sick. And I love those guys. They're the backbone of what we do. And as I tell everybody, I don't ever ask for money, and I even maintain that with the subs, because if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can sub for free. It doesn't cost you a dime. And they get you full access to everything everybody else has. So use those damn Amazon Prime subs, please. But anyway, time and space, yes, can't wait, absolutely. No, the MACD one's good. I recorded it this morning. I have to go back and edit it, and I was like, this will be really quick, and it was 37 minutes, and I was like, oh, Jesus, okay. I'm going to have to pare this down. But anyway, it has been recorded. Background is fire. Can't wait to see the video. Yeah, it does, dude. It's just nice. You can see a little bit of motion blur with my hand, but I just painted the wall behind me. $58 for a quart of paint. Motherfucker. Worth it, though. All right, y'all. Let's get out of here. You got essentially a minute for any final questions. In a minute. 5 to minute. 4 to 3, 2, 1 word. What's funny is, you're welcome, Dan Buer. This is the only thing that I kept that is still. Oh no! Somebody post a link to the Discord. Let me do it. Hold on. Invite people. Edit link, invite. Never. Generate new link. Copy. There you go. Should show up here in a second. Yep, that should be live. So use that. Get in. No, seriously, the Discord subscriber chat is absolutely fire. It's really, really good. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you later.